Yep, ich lass mich heute Abend blicken. Ich komm gut geschmückt in den Laden geritten. Alle tanzen, die Damen sind echt entzückend. Ganzes Backblech voller Sahne.
Hey, welcome to my channel, or welcome back if you're a loyal subscriber. I'm Carrie, the nosy housebrow, and that is Carrie, K-E-R-R-Y, like the place in Ireland. Some of you have been calling me Carrie, and that's fine too, if your name is Carrie. But I'm Carrie, so I really appreciate it if you spell that right before you unsubscribe. Thank you. This is day number 10 on the 10th day of Vlogmas. I remembered my car payment's due. Sucks to be me, how about you? Sorry, this is all very ad-libby. I'm enjoying some tea, aka Theraflu, and I might have a little bit of medicine head because I took care of my husband for a couple of days. He's had a bad cold, and I'm starting to feel a little sinus happening, and I refuse to give in. So what I do at the first sign of a cold is I make sure I get a lot of vitamin C on board, a lot of hydration. I make my spicy kimchi tofu soup, which is out of this world. If anybody wants that recipe, let me know. You can make a milder version too. I also made faux soup, F-A-U-X, because I fake it when I make the Vietnamese soup. But that turned out really well too, and I have a recipe for that. So cilantro and really good health foods, hydration, and then of course sleep. And I don't go to bed easily, so sometimes I take a little nighttime boost if I think I'm about to get sick, and in this case I'm having some Theraflu nighttime stuff. So I hope all of you are doing really well. It's only the 10th day of Vlogmas. That's crazy. Given everything going on at home, I thought, I'll talk about some random stuff, but I definitely want to touch upon chronic fatigue. There's been so many videos out on spoonies, and if you don't know what spooning or you know what spooning is, but spoonies are people who suffer from chronic fatigue due to whatever illness. There's a woman, and I will link her below, Christine I think her name is. She has a very good explanation of her own description of this. She has lupus, and she talks about how it is to have finite energy, and I guess she explained it to a friend of hers using spoons. You have this many spoons for the day, and you do this many tasks, and you run out of these spoons, and you have one spoon left, and you have to choose between tasks. And it's basically describing what it is like to really have to be hyper vigilant about that finite amount of energy you have every day in the energy bank that you can use up so easily, just like the spoons. And how it really explains how people who suffer from chronic fatigue have to navigate their day differently. And I know Roxana's been talking about this, a lot of channels have been talking about this. I have not really wanted to talk about it because, well, I don't talk much about illness on my channel anyway. Maybe I should at some point. One of the reasons why, it's not that I want to be, hide anything from anybody. It's just that it's easier for me to get through the day not focused on that. That's part of how I maintain the energy that I do have. And it's really hard for me to take a look at what I've lost. Because there was a time in my life where I could have worked 3 jobs with one hand tied behind my back and been fine. As long as I get that 8 hours of sleep every night, I could do it all again the next day. And that stopped a while ago, and it got particularly bad when my son was about 2. And that's how long I've been very ill, you could say. You could say, seriously, seriously ill. I really am afraid of sounding hypochondriacal. But I also think that for me it's important to just persevere and not give in. That's the way I keep my energy, is to not give in to exhaustion. Sometimes you have to, but sometimes you have one spoon and you just gotta lather, rinse, repeat. Gotta wash it off and wait. In other words, take a nap, get some B12, find out, do you need protein? You'll find a way to eat that keeps you having the energy you need throughout the day. I have learned to accept that there's some days I don't have the spoon to put on the makeup. I'm just gonna have to do, X, Y, and Z. And you learn to live accepting that and doing the best you can. And that's all you can do. In my case, I find that if I push through, I will do better. If I move, I tend to find it easier to move. If I don't I just don't. And there are days when my husband has to help me dress, but I still get out of bed. And I just, for myself, I have to. I can't keep my house as clean as the way I did when I had 3 little kids running around the house. I just can't. You know, my stepchildren I've had since they were little. I have 2 stepchildren and then Zach. So life was busy, you know, working and taking care of a house, taking care of kids who were in school. I was able to do that more easily. And I have less responsibilities now, and I have a much harder time getting everything done that I want to get done for me. And so I've learned to live saying, well, what are you going to do? Have no friends over because you didn't clean the baseboards? You know, I just have friends over anyway. I remember that Erma Bomback phrase, that poem she wrote, which I will link below. Maybe I'll just paste the whole thing. It's amazing. If I had a chance to do it all over again. My mother revered her. And I was young. I was like 14 or so when my mother was reading her books, but I still appreciated her too. I remember she had that book around the house, If Life's a Bowl of Cherries, What Am I Always Doing in the Pits? Interestingly enough, Erma Bomback was someone who was home every night to make dinner for her family, even when she was a very busy, famous woman. And I admired that about her. But I imagine with her kidney disease, she had to have some help at some point. I am now going to try and get somebody in here to help me get some of the detail cleaning done that I like to have done. Because I did what Erma Bomback said. I had people over when my house wasn't as clean as I wanted it. And I was miserable about it. Like, I just couldn't, like, I know they're not coming over to give me the white glove test, but I hated not having the dust bunnies gone when people got here. It's just, I can't relax. I don't know what my mother did to me with that shame that I have. No matter how clean my house is, I have shame. And I just don't think, you know, I'll ever feel that I'm at that level I want to be at. For my own standard, for my own appreciation. I just, you know, I try to accept the imperfections of my dirty house. And then hide all the bags and crap that you don't even see off camera right now that I wouldn't have had here. I have a bunch of grocery bags and things like that, and I have the box, the Tracy Lee box that I unboxed the other day, that's still on the table. So it's been very cold outside, so I can't clean as much. I don't know, I'll make up some excuse. Basically, I did do other detail cleaning and stuff. As long as I get something done, I'm okay. And that's how I deal with my spoons for the day. I tell myself I will do something towards my goals. I set those small personal goals we were talking about. So right now, I have to have my bathroom cleaned. And if I don't do these things, it affects my sense of peace, my well-being. It doesn't matter that nobody's coming over. I want these things done. I want these things taken care of. So it is what it is, because it isn't what it isn't. Anyway. Am I ready for the holidays? People always talk about ready for the holidays. I think we're as ready as we're going to be, you know. I'll be as ready as I am. So, ready or not, here comes the holiday. Comes every year at the same time, so I don't have any excuse really to not be ready. What am I going to say, like on the 24th? What? Was I supposed to get a drink? And that's where my battery died on the camera. I thought I had plenty of battery. Gosh, I've just been having all kinds of technical difficulties. So I'll charge it tonight, and then it'll be ready for tomorrow. Tomorrow I'll have the lights on, I'll have the camera on, the stars will align, and I will have that Hollywood quality vlogging that I so shoot for every time I film. But I just wanted to finish up on that thought and say, you know, as far as energy goes, you know, I really am accepting of the way that I feel, but as long as I keep moving and exercise every day, I don't have as hard of a time. That's just what works for me, to make sure I get some kind of exercise in. Even if illness means it's much harder for me to get fit, I still have to exercise in order to keep that circulation going and let my body know that I'm using it, so I don't want to lose it. Anyway, thank you so much if you've listened this far. I so appreciate you. And I will be back tomorrow, of course, for Vlogmas Day 11. Have a great night, everybody.